I've begun the recording, so everything that we say and do will be recorded now. My name is Sohail Adnan, and I have over 12 years of IT experience. Right, I'm a BTech graduate, and my career started as each one of you have started your career. I was working as a monitoring guy, probably an L0, a company called HP. Um, where I used to see the issues on the monitoring screen and then alerts and events and other things. And I used to go back and report these issues to my senior. I used to create tickets and used to send them email. Right, that is how I have begun my career, and then slowly moved into becoming an L1 and then L2 and then L3 and then solution architect, technical consultant, and so far I have been anchoring several other positions in my 12 years of tenure. Right, today I work with one of the world's largest MNC who delivers cloud services. So this is a quick story about me. So try to correlate me with one of you, because where you have started your career, I have started the career from there, right? So currently I'm working in cloud technologies. I have done several projects on mobile application, e-commerce, artificial intelligence, predictive analytics, intrusion detection, prevention use cases, blockchain, content delivery. Some of these areas is what I have been working lately. I do L1, L2 automation also. Right. So some of these areas that I'm working in. So feel free to shoot questions after this session and test me. Let's see how we go from there. Right. So remember, my name is Sohail. You can call me Sohail. And if you see my screen right now, there are various certification tracks that Amazon is offering you today. Right. So before you enroll into any training program, you would like to know what am I getting into, what course content that I will be covering, what certification that I'm focusing at, is the certification right for the amount of experience that I have. So some of those areas is what we are focusing now. So there are three levels. First is foundational, and then you have associate, and then finally you have professional. So there are three levels. So let's start from foundational first. Now the foundational level, you have 4 papers through AWS that you can write. But if you could notice one thing, foundational is grayed out. Right, what Amazon is trying to articulate here is these are all optional certificates. Right, it is not mandatory for you to do. If you do, great, but if you don't, it's not a roadblock, it's not an end of the day. Right, then why they have published this and for whom it is? Someone who has 22 years of IT experience, who's already a technical manager, practice director, general manager that we're looking at. These candidates do not like to acquire technical skills, but they would like to know what's happening in the cloud world. Hence, from a practical perspective, from a non-practical perspective, from a theoretical perspective, 80,000 feet high, this will help them to understand what AWS it is and how they can implement and be a part of a digital transformation that is happening right now. So foundational tracks are for them. Right. Then we have associate track. In associate track, we have 3 papers. We will start with the architect associate first. This is the most commonly written paper today, right? So candidate having 8+ years of IT experience. So if you have 8 years of IT experience in networking, storage, database, right, virtualization, Linux, Windows, automation, DevOps, anything that we're looking at, and holistically, if you have 8+ years of IT experience, then you should focus on architect associate. Right. So if you have less than 4 years, let's say 0 to 2, 2 to 4 years, and 4 to 6 years that we are looking at, if you're that candidate, then you should focus on AWS certified SysOps administration associate. Right. You just have 2 years of monitoring experience, L1 experience. Your company is moving into cloud. You would like to learn that. You'll seeing an opportunity in the market that you would like to capitalize on. Right. So less than 8 years, you should focus on SysOps administration associate. Right. So if you're not an infrastructure guy, but you're an application developer, right, you're a software developer, write codes in Java, PHP, .NET, Python, React JS, Node.js, right? 50 different languages that exist on the world today. So if you're a core developer, you're not an infrastructure guy, you write codes for your living, you're a software guy, then perhaps you should focus on AWS developer associate track. So this is the developer track that you have. If you have 0 to 2, 2 to 4, and 4 to 6 years, and you're a developer, you will focus on developer track. If you're an infrastructure guy, then you will focus on sysops administration here. If you have already crossed 8 years of tenurity, then you should focus on architect associate paper here, right? So how much does this paper cost? It will cost you $150, approximately about 10,500 rupees is a paper cost. Any paper that you write in your associate category, whether you take up architect associate, developer, sysops administration, any paper that we are looking at, it'll cost you $150, about 10,000 to 11,000 based on the conversion rate. And the paper is valid for 2 years. So once you attempt and once you clear your examination, the paper is valid for 2 years, and before 2 years it expires. Before it expires, you can renew the same paper, or you can write the next paper. So what is the next paper that you can write? So you have professional track here, which is after associate, right? So candidate, if you have done architect associate paper already, then you can move into architect professional. This is a specialization. VPC is a specialization that you want to take. Security is a specialization that you want to take. Some kind of a specialization that you have in, right? Setting up a DR site, whatever it is. So you want to take up a specialization, you take a professional paper here. If you see the arrow clearly represents that you cannot directly write this exam. You first have to do architect associate, and then you have to do architect professional. Are you with me? You cannot directly write this paper. So likewise, if you have done developer, then you can do DevOps engineer professional here. If you have done administrative paper here from sysops, then you can do DevOps engineer. This DevOps engineer and this DevOps engineer is the exact same paper, right? So whether you have done developer or sysops, you will end up doing DevOps engineer. Now, some students ask me a question, right? Can I do sysops administration and can I do architect professional? The answer is no, right? If you have done a solution architect associate, can I do DevOps? The answer is no. The arrows are clearly pointing upwards. Therefore, if you have done architect associate, then you can do architect professional. Likewise, if you have done developer or sysops administration, then you can do DevOps. Are you with me? Right. So this is a track which is very clear. Any paper that you write in your professional track, it is 300 USD examination fee. Again, about 20,000, 22,000 based on the currency that we have. And it is also valid for 2 years, right? So 2 plus 2, 4 years of overall validity that you have. What will happen after this? Only your college marks cards, such as engineering, BCA, whatever the graduation that you have done, only those marks cards are valid for your life. Everything else has a limitation on number of years that you can have the certificate, right? So currently you have 4 years. By 4 years, you should be ready to learn something new, become relevant, and take up additional courses by then. So 4 years is a lot of time for you to upgrade yourself and learn new technologies and graduate in other certifications that exist in the world today, right? So what is it that we will be covering? What papers are we covering? Because we have mixed audience here. Some have less than 8 years of experience, some have more than 8 years of experience, right? But one thing common among you is all of you are maybe freshers, right? From a cloud perspective that I'm looking at, though you have industrial experience for cloud, you might have seen some videos on Udemy and couple of other websites. On YouTube you have explored, right? So I'm assuming that you have fair amount of knowledge, and therefore you have shown interest for this demo, right? But it is important that we start from 101. We start from foundation. We give you basic knowledge, right? Create a perspective on what AWS it is, how it began, what services that they have, right? Develop that culture in the training so that you can feel that this is right for you. You're getting the right knowledge, you're constructing things on top of it, right? So 101 is very important, and we have to begin your learning from sysops administration. Get your basics right first, and then move into architect paper, move into DevOps, and move into professional, right? So what we have done is we understand, we see a lot of job descriptions that are coming into the market, and we exactly know what they're looking at, right? They want 4 things for you to succeed. First is they expect you to have Linux expertise and a Windows expertise. 1 operating system expertise are required for you. And the second thing that they need is some amount of cloud experience, right? Whether it's AWS, Azure, Google that we're looking at. Third piece of knowledge that you're looking at is DevOps, traditional DevOps, DevOps 2.0, right? And the fourth expertise that they're looking at is some automation, some programming expertise, some basic scripting is what it is needed, right? In a nutshell, if you see any job descriptions that are coming in the market today, they expect you to know four a piece of technologies. One is operating system, second is cloud, third is DevOps, fourth is some automation, some programming such as Python, or JavaScript, or some Bash script, or Ansible, YAML that we are looking at. So these are the four vital components that you need in order to survive in the market today. So to address this and to solve this problem, what we have done is we have taken SysOps administration paper from here, a DevOps professional here, DevOps engineer professional, right? And since this DevOps is also same, we have taken architect professional and architect associate. Out of 5 papers that we have, except developer paper, we have taken all 4 papers and we have combined the syllabus together, right? So we want you to have knowledge on best of both world. We want you to learn cloud, we also want you to learn DevOps, and we also want you to learn basic, and we also want you to learn advanced, right? The reason why, because in my experience specifically, when you take a single program here, right? When you go for an interview, they will ask you several questions that are not part of your architect associate. They'll expect you to know DevOps. They expect you to know how do you build a rocket. They expect you to know how to go to moon. How do you land there, right? How do you produce electricity and oxygen on the moon? The expectation is more, right? So in order to solve all the expectation, we want to train you best of both world. If you're an architect, great. If you're a DevOps, you're great. If you're performing a sysops administrative job, which we want you to succeed in your career. So from that perspective, we have taken all this 4 syllabus together and we have combined it here. So by this way, what happens, lot of contents that are already redundant, we have eliminated that, right? So we have clubbed this together. Now how does your learning curve will happen, right? Our training is almost 50 to 60% practical and 40% is theory. Why are we taking this direction, right? If theory is something that you're looking at, there are articles, documentations that are available on the internet that you can read. People come here to learn skills, right? And they want hands-on experience. They need live projects, right? A complex projects that you actually do in your enterprise, right? Building sophisticated things as a lab here. So they need a lot of hands-on experience. In order to give them hands-on experience, we give them a lot of practical labs, practical training. As a trainer, I will build and show it to you, and you have to replicate the way I have built, right? So by this way, what happens, you gain hands-on experience, and this training is, the end goal of this day training is job orientation, right? What you learn in the training, the same thing can go and work anywhere that you want. So from a job orientation perspective, we do a lot of practical here, so that live projects, what you work here, you can go and you can implement at work also, right? So this is what we are trying to solve here. Now let's understand the methodology that we will follow. Amazon tells us that we need to follow well architect frameworks, learn, measure, and build using architectural best practices. What is it, right? There are several architectural best practices that we have. I will try to cover a couple of them, and when you join the training, I will go through them in detail, right? So operation excellence, we are all part of some operation here, right? We work in shifts, we get tickets, we work on incidents. We're all part of some operations, which is never ending, right? So how do you excel at work? There are a lot of capabilities that AWS has built into that you can take advantage out of. There are pre-built automations that are there that you can take advantage out of, and you can be smart at how you utilize and work with AWS. Are you getting my point? So excelling at operations in terms of able to deliver work on time before SLA, right? Playing smart because you know integrity of AWS platform. So operational excellence, I will teach you all the best practices tools in practical so that you can be ahead of your curve. Security, very important again, right? In the interview, they will expect you to know security. When you're migrating your workloads to AWS, security is another criteria. When you do implementation, another security aspects. All the security best practices is what we will cover in the training. How do you set up SSL certificate? How do you encrypt your VPN tunnel? How do you do rest in transit encryption? Right? VPC, how do you set up? How do you isolate your network? Right? How do you put your applications behind DMZ, right? Behind your load balancer? All the security aspects that you will learn here. right? Reliability, something works, always works, right? We go to office and we always think, yeah, I wish I could have had some buffer or a breather. I could have focused on my learning here. I can focus on something else, but doesn't happen. You go to office, you're bombarded with work, you start working on that. You're getting my point, right? So, from a reliability perspective, your infrastructure breaks more often, and therefore you're required to stay there and fix it, right? Why? Because your architect has taken the shortcut so that your infrastructure runs less and breaks more. Are you with me? Right? But here we will teach you how do you take the most complex approach to design and build an infrastructure here so that it can run longer and break less often, so that you have far fewer people, or you have people who are less focused on your infrastructure and more focused on self betterment, right? So there are several well architect frameworks and practices that I would like to showcase when you enroll into this training. How do you get started? How do you get started here? You have a free account that you can sign up here. If you can go to aws.amazon.com/free, you can register a free account, and this free account is available for you for 12 months. This free account is available for you for 12 months that you can sign up and you can register. And this is the account that we will be using to do all our live practicals in lab. Right? So in time and again, I will show you what services are free, how much it is free, how do you avoid unnecessary bills on your card, right? Even in an event where there is an unexpected charges, do not hesitate, I'll get you waived off, right? So this is where we get started here. Right, now let's continue further. What is it after training? Now you understood what certification program that we are focusing at. You also understood that training methodology. You also understood that this is a job oriented training that we are focusing at. You also understood that we follow well architect framework so that nothing is left out. We know where to start from and we know where to end the project. Right, now we also figured it out that there's a free account that is available that we can register and we can start doing our labs. Right, what is after training? What will happen after training? Right, so as a hand holding, this is not something special that I'm telling you. It's a standard procedure that we follow across all our students. So we do hand holding and we do 6 things after training. Right, so step number 1 is, after the training, the knowledge that you have acquired after this training has to be captured in your resume. This is a very vital step, right? So you have learned new technology, right? It has to be captured in your resume thoroughly there, right? So what we do is we have a resume preparation workshops where we'll set up a workshops and we will show you, will teach you how do you write a project summary and how do you incorporate in your resume. How do you merge your current experience with AWS experience and fuse them together as a natural story on your resume? So that is a workshop that we set. Second thing is resume development skill and job searching skills is what we will cover in the workshop, right? Now, for example, um, what happens is you take your friend's resume, you change your name and all, you try to copy the projects and all. You go on the internet, you lift content from there, you combine your resume together, and you apply it on an internet. Nobody will call you. You are not getting an interview calls. Nobody is asking you for a job, right? You're not getting resume invitations, right? Interview calls you're not getting. What is happening? Because the content that you have lifted from the internet, right? For example, um, if you have logged into your Gmail, if you have logged into your Gmail, or if you have any mailing services, right? You get emails. Some sort of an emails will get into your inbox, and most of your emails will go into spam. Why is it going to spam? Because system is intelligent, because Google as a service knows and understand that the mail that you're receiving is not unique to you. It is a very common email, because hundreds of other Gmail customers are also receiving same emails, and therefore some customers have already marked it as spam. So for you, you don't have to do anything. The filtering will happen automatically, right? Only unique mails which are specific to you will come to you, to your inbox. One use case. Now the second use case that you have here is Google, right? For example, I'll go to google.com here, and let's assume that I will query my search. I'm looking for an iPhone, right? So on the entire page 1, I have list of results that are showing up for an iPhone. But on the bottom of the page, I have page 2, page 3, page 4, page 5, page 10 also. page 15, page 20. And trust me, in my entire experience, or in your experience, you have never clicked on page 10 or page 15, right? Why you have not clicked? Because the first page, second page, third page will give you the result, right? The reason why, because the content is unique. The content is unique, the content is fresh, and therefore it is queried into page number 1 and 2 and 3. The same thing is happening with Naukri or a monster.com. If you guys are an HR and if you're looking for me as a Sohail Adnan AWS professional, and if my resume is not fresh, I have lifted content from 50 different websites, I have lifted content from LinkedIn, I have taken somebody's resume, I have modified, my content is not fresh. And Naukri Monster, what they will do is they will filter me to page 3, 4 and 5, right? Like you guys in your real life, you never gone to page 3, 4 and 5 in Google to search your queries or results, right? You get what you want on page 1, 2, right? When you yourself have not gone in your life on page 3, 4 and 5 as an HR, you will not look for me on page 5, page 10 or page 15. You will filter 10 resumes or 20 resumes in your first result, and you will call them for an interview. That is why even after uploading your resumes, you guys don't get called, because your resumes are not coming on page 1, 2 and 3. Now Korean Monster is marking it spam because the content is redundant. You have lifted content from 50 different places. So this workshop will enable you to write a fresh resume. The story is unique to you, the content is unique to you, right? And when you upload this on the internet, this most likely that your resume will filter on page 1, 2 and 3. So you have higher chances of getting a phone call for an interview. That is the significance of resume preparation workshop here. It is not that I give you a template and I'll tell you just change your name and upload it. We dedicatedly put effort, we work behind it. After several iterations, we come up with a resume that actually works for you, right? So this is one thing that you need to remember. Do not share your resumes with your friends. If they lift your content from your CV, then your CV is also marked spam, right? This is a part of a resume workshop. So once we figure out writing a fresh resume, uploading resumes on the internet, you will start getting calls. Now you have to attend those calls and give interview, right? So let's understand from an interview perspective here. Now if I talk to you about what you have done now, you can tell me 10, 15, 20 minutes. You can talk about what issues you're working with, how did you do damage control, issue mitigation, how you have done, what processes that you're following. You can talk to me for 20, 25 minutes on what currently you're doing. But when you learn any new technology, you don't know where to start and where to end, right? When interview is asking you something you will not have answered to, you'll say "Ba, ba, 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 ba," and you'll fail the interview. Very common thing that is happening, right? So as part of a as part of an interview preparing workshop, right, we will teach you what are the tricks and tips that you can crack an interview with, right? So for example, when I give an interview, I set a context on what knowledges I have, all tools and technologies that I have worked with. So in the process, I'm naturally feeding information to the interviewer in such a way that interview will only listen to you, and in the process he will try to pause you and he'll try to ask you, try to drill you down and understand how depth knowledge that you have. When he's cross questioning you or probing you from the content that you have already expressed, out of 10 questions he asks, the expectation is you need to answer only 5, because someone can be only 50% proficient, not 100%. And by this way you can crack an interview and get a job. There are several interview clearing workshops that we will discuss on how do you articulate, how do you avoid hurting interviewers ego, right? How do you train interviewers mind so that he can fall to you? So there are a lot of things that we will train you in your interview preparation workshop, so that you can confidently go and give interviews, and every interviews you can crack. So that is the second thing that we do after this training as part of an hand holding, right? Now the third thing is, once you get a job, you have to go and work somewhere, right? So at work, there may be a possibility that you will be the first person from a cloud background, right? Right, in the company, right? Or you would be the only one, right? And expect you to do a lot of things, right? Or you would be a senior guy. You'd be a senior guy. Hold on, guys. Sorry about that, guys. I had an intruder hijacking my room and wanted to figure out what I'm doing, right? Sorry about that. So where was I? Right? Huh. So if you get a job, if you start working from an AWS domain perspective, right, there's always a roadblock. What you have learned in the training, right, might help you out, but there are a lot of things outside the training that you have to face as a challenge, right? So what will happen is you will either go to Google to find solutions on the internet, right? And second thing is we offer you lifetime on-job support or on-job assistance, for which we have built a portal here. And if you see, we have AWS on-job assistance portal that we have created. And if you see here, we have over 297 students. We have registered over 297 students we have registered here, right? These are the students that I have trained and they're part of the community. So any questions you have, any help that you need, you can post your question here. Your trainer will come and rescue you rest of your life on AWS domain. If your trainer is busy, he's traveling, he's not available, you have over 297 people that are available here who will come and help you out and help you rescue you if you're stuck with AWS domain or if you have a problem, right? So we give you lifetime on-job support that is also free. After this, right, a lot of times what happens is people do not know how to search a job. People don't know, sir, I'm applying, I'm not getting a call, I don't know how to find a job, there's no job available on the internet. I searched everywhere on the internet, there's not even single AWS job. You tend to hear this. So what we have done is to solve that problem also. We have created an on-job portal here, right, where we will only find a job and give it to you. You don't even have to go and find a job. You just have to install this application and subscribe to the services, and it is free. For rest of your life, we will only find AWS jobs and give it to you. All you have to do is just apply. If you can do that much, it is great. We are working on an AI where we can give resume to an AI. AI will apply it on your behalf, right? Currently this job is found by AI. We have created an artificial bot here. It'll go to various websites, look for the keywords that we have given, it'll go fetch a job and bring it and give it to you, so you don't have to go through 50 places to look for a job. Every day morning when you get up, you have jobs, right? If you see here, um, today we have found one job on AWS DevOps. There are 42 jobs that are related to AWS alone in Bangalore. Then there's one more 40 job list that we have got in DevOps. There are 10 jobs we have got on AWS Architect. There's only one job that we have got on SysOps here. So likewise, if I scroll up, let's see yesterday's outcome here. So we have 6 jobs on DevOps that were announced yesterday, 7 on AWS Architect, 62 other AWS related jobs with automations and other thing, right? With SAP and other complementing technologies that they're looking at. So if you see day for yesterday on October 25th, we have a couple of more jobs here. So our AI will continuously look for the job and feed these jobs for you. You don't have to look for it, right? So in case after placing you're not happy with it, you want to look for a change, you have jobs every day in your hand. If you're not happy with the job, come apply here and change your job, right? So after this, what next? So we have created a student library here. I have a lot of my students who has their own YouTube channels after this training, right? I encourage them to do something, challenge their trainer, right? Come question their trainer and do something which a trainer could not do, or out of the box thing they do, right? And they have maintained their own YouTube channels and they create their own training materials and they share it here, right? And it is for free, so that you can also refer to your students library, what other students have done, what your seniors have done. For example, let me show you here, migration, right? How do you migrate from on-premise to AWS? So if you come here, let's see, we have a student called Rajesh here who have demonstrated migrating a VM from VMware to AWS, right? So likewise, if I see for Jenkins here, let me look for Jenkins. There's another student called Ashima who have demonstrated how to use Jenkins with Docker and container service on AWS, right? So there are a lot of videos that are available that students have built and students have shared. So you'll get access to student library, right? You will get access to my recordings also, right? If you click here, so there's a section where I have also recorded some additional trainings, some new projects that I have done, and I have posted it here, so that you can click on this link and you can view those recordings also, right? So this is also there, right? And I encourage you to record your own lectures and you publish it here so that your fellow mates can see. and you get all the credit. So we have a kind of a community here, right? So after this examination preparation, right, so now you have got your resume done, we prepared you for the interview, you're working there, we're giving you on job support. If you're not happy, you have access to job system where you can change your job, right? And then you have access to student libraries where you can see a lot of practical labs and other things from other students also, right? And then finally examination preparation, everybody wants to clear exam, everybody wants to get certified. So we have created an interactive examination system here. If I click on this link, the system will appear, the system will ask you questions, and if you see 90 students have already attempted this paper here, and system will ask you, there are 4 5 answers that are available, you will select the right answer, you will do next and finish. The system will tell you that whether you have got the right answer or you have got the wrong answer, right? So by this way you can attend several times till you get it right. If you could find maximum questions right answer, then you're ready for the examination, you can go and attend the real exam, right? So there's no need of buying dumps and anything. Amazon has recently changed their paper, and we have access to those dumps right now, and we have updated those quiz here. So let's say that now you don't write exam, after 6 months you write it, then also if any questions, new questions comes in, we will get it first and we will update it here. So by this way what will happen, you never have to pay for a dumps, you will have always access to latest dumps here. You just have to come back and take participate in the quiz and get yourself cleared, and then you can go and write your real exam. So examination preparation is also we have done. Lastly, revision, right? Some students are slow to learn, some students are excellent in grabbing information. I'm a very slow student, right? When I take any training, I never understand the first time, I have to attend couple of times, right? So I understand that there are some students that are very slow and they don't get things the first time. So what we have done is, we allow our students to attend unlimited classes and unlimited revision. So what does this mean? This means in an event that you have missed your classes because you're traveling, you could not attend, you can come back in the following batch and you can attend classes. Point number one, even if you've attended the entire batch and you still want to attend one more batch or multiple batches of AWS training, you're welcome to join follow-up sessions also, and you can attend the full training, no questions asked. So you are entitled to receive unlimited revision. And lastly, all our lectures are downloadable. That means you're allowed to download our classes and you're allowed to share with your friends. We do not have any obligations or objections here. You're free to do so, right? So this concludes today's demo. This concludes today's lecture, right? So I was told that you would like to see some practical examples, right? So let me show you some practical labs here. So I was talking to one of the students before this session here, and the student was telling me that his father is into some apparels business. They sell apparels, and his uncle is into some mixture business. They make some chochos and some bakery items and other thing. So they wanted to establish an e-commerce platform where they can reach to more audience, right? They can sell more. And he was telling me, can I build solution like that? Can you show it to me in the demo there? So for that student, I said yes. So I'm going to show you how easy it is to build an e-commerce platform and publish your products here, and you can get started pretty quickly here. So if you could see, I'm right now in Mumbai. I am doing this lab in Mumbai region. So this was a project that we have pre-created it in one of our training sessions. So I'm going to pick that project up and I'm going to demonstrate it to you. You guys are with me so far? Okay, very well. Okay. All right. So what I'm doing is there's a template with an OpenCart software. OpenCart is a free e-commerce platform that we used to build one of the project here. I will show you in the training also to how do you build this from scratch. But it's a pre-created template that I'm picking up and I'm demonstrating this lab here. I'm going to select a micro machine. I'm also using a free tier account here. And if you see here, it is clearly telling that if I happen to choose this machine, which comes with one CPU core and 1 GB RAM, I don't have to pay for it. It's a part of a free tier. Quickly going to select this network. I'm going to skip for today. I'm fine with 10 GB storage for this demo. I'm going to call this shopping cart. Demo class. Couple of ports that I would like to open. HTTP I will open. HTTPS. I'm not going to log into the root today, so I'm going to remove SSH. Backend I'm not logging in. All right. I'm going to select my key that I have and I'm going to let the machine loose. Because this project is done on Linux machine, this should take about 30 seconds, 30 to 45 seconds to come up. If it is Windows, usually it takes 4-5 minutes. So kindly bear with me while the machine is coming up here. If you see, it is initializing right now. And a couple of other things that you might be interested here is there's a public IP address that it has associated with the machine, along with public DNS here. And then you have a private IP address and private DNS also associated with that. Just to make sure that what machine you're running it is T2 Micro. Where you're running it in first availability zone. Mumbai has 2 availability zone. That means 2 physical data centers with a significant physical distance between them. And randomly, Amazon has picked the first data center. So from an AWS nomenclature perspective, we will not address them as a data center. We call them availability zone. So it says availability zone 1A here. What else you might be interested here? Launch time, it was created now. So no funny business here. It was created a moment ago. What else you might be interested in? Hypervisor, right? People who are from a VMware background and people from Hyper-V background, they think Amazon is running on top of it. But Amazon uses a virtualization platform called HVM. I will tell you about HVM more in detail when I see you in the training. That's about it, I think. Still initializing. Status check. Both status are initializing. One is looking for AWS resources, others looking for a middleware to run and network connectivity. Monitoring is also pre-baked into it. There's no need of using an external monitoring here. Every time you create a machine, it auto creates the monitoring logs for that. The difference between a free and a paid monitoring is a paid monitoring will monitor in a very short interval every 1 minute, and free is like every 5 minutes. Please, could you share the course details? Sure, Mahesh. Mahesh, you need to reach out to Galaxy. I think Galaxy invited you for this training. So anything that you need from me has to come through them. So reach out to them, let them know what you want. They will help you. They'll be more than happy. Right. So let me see whether this is working here. I'm going to just paste the IP address here, and hopefully this should work. And if you see, a simple e-commerce project is working here. Let me put this IP address in the chat so that you guys can experience the platform yourself. Right. For example, this is a dummy store. Just some products that we have lifted off of the internet and we have uploaded here. So let's say an iPhone that you need, right? How many quantities that you need? 2 quantities. Add to cart, right? Right. You have in your card right now. You do checkout. It says I do not have SSL certificate. The connection is not private. So I'm gonna ignore this message and I'm gonna proceed anyways. Right. And it is asking me customer name, guest checkout, continue, my billing details, delivery address, delivery method, my credit card payment methods, and other thing, and I can buy this product online, right? So let me show you how does a backend would look like for you to change and update your products. Um, okay. Mm, hmm. I don't know. Maybe the password has changed. I have to go back and check. But I could have showed you the backend here, where basically you will have a graphical user interface where you can upload your products, you can change your products, set the shipping deliveries and other policy criterias, all that you can set, and you can successfully run your e-commerce platform. I think this is built by one of my student here. What password you've set, I think I have lost it. So I'll check with him and I'll come back. Or maybe when we are doing the training, I will teach you how to build this from scratch and make your own e-commerce platform. Right. So this concludes today's demo. Then, if you have any questions, I would love to hear them now, and we will take the discussion from here.